Dami mo ng material. Grabe. Pang 20 episodes na. Hey everyone, welcome once again to the show Conversations with Arde Abello. Today we are going to be talking about nutrition and performance. So today we are going to be talking about nutrition and performance, and with us is a nutrition coach. Meron palang ganun. And his name is Sid Kabatingan. Sid, welcome. So, Sid, let us know first a little bit about you. OG muna tayo, origin story muna tayo. I'm sure being a nutrition coach happened just very recently for you, you know? So what were your involvement? Take us back first as a child, di ba? Yung family background mo, because I know that your father is a doctor and then your sister is a doctor as well, di ba? So tell us more about that growing up and all. Yeah,
Great.
go ahead.
So for the longest time, kasi in our family, parang my dad has always been the healthy dad. Kasi being a doctor, he's always been conscious or mindful of what he's eating.
Right.
So parang he's not the beer kind of a guy. He's not the steak eating kind of a guy. He's the one who eats vegetables first, yogurt, oatmeal, parang the soft kind, parang yun. And then before pa, they've always been active. I mean, my family, my parents, ganon. And then they've always, they used to play badminton a lot. And then when I was a child, I wanted to get into basketball. Pero my parents kind of pushed me towards playing badminton. And even before, I said, ayoko ng badminton. Kasi back then, I thought playing basketball is cool.
Yeah.
Being from all-boys school. Diba? So, but eventually, I got into badminton. And then I got really good at it. And then I realized na, I think I have a gift for being physically active or fit in general. So I got into badminton. I played for my school in Don Bosco. I also learned swimming, and then a little bit of basketball. Tapos then when I got into college, LaSalle, I thought I'll apply for the badminton team. But eventually that didn't turn out. I mean, it didn't really flourish because I got so busy with school.
Yeah.
The schedule, di ko na siya kinaya. But I would try my best pa rin to be active.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from that background, yung parang from my family trying to eat properly, and then playing. I remember parang my dad sabi, or tatanggalin yung skin ng chicken, ng fried chicken.
Pa naman yung masarap, guys, diba? Oo.
Tapos bibigyan niya sa akin before kasi bata naman ako eh. I don't mind bigyan. So
Can afford.
Yeah, can afford pa that time. But I always thought, bakit hindi niya nakain yung fried, yung manok, yung balat ng manok? But yun, so anyway, when I graduated college, when I was in my 20s, I was still very active pa rin. I wanted to get into weightlifting. So during 20s, I was working in Macan.
Okay.
Tapos every after shift, I would go to the Gold's Gym and work out. Workout lang. Wala akong alam, pero I would just work out.
On your own, wala kang personal trainer.
Wala. I would just work out lang. Yeah, I would just work out. Google lang and then do what I know.
Oo.
Diba? And then, anyway, that's what all I do lang. Weightlifting lang. And then fast forward to maybe around when I was 20, which is 2 years ago. So I think that's when the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Everything locked down. And then I thought, so for the last 8 years, I've just been working out. I've been trying to, lift more weights, being active lang. I thought, I think I need to learn nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So during the height of the pandemic, when March 2020, when it locked down, parang I searched, there's an online course for nutrition.
Okay.
So I enrolled, and then I studied nutrition. Parang ganun. And then during that time, when I was studying the course, it was really meant for nutrition coaching.
Okay.
Not really just for nutrition as a course.
Right.
And then when I was studying it, I realized, and I thought, meron palang job for nutrition coaching? How is that possible? Yan. And then I thought, I can't do that because how would that work? Parang I will tell someone to how they can live. Tapos albeit online pa.
Mm-hmm.
So parang I think that's hard. How can I make someone listen
Yeah.
to me? through online, more or less. But eventually, I learned into it. I learned the course. It was really meant for me. And then it was still during the pandemic, and I thought everything was online. So that's when Zoom really flourished.
Yeah.
Virtual e-Numan, virtual meetings, everything,
Virtual.
everything virtual. And then I think, there's a market for virtual coachings.
Yeah.
So eventually, I got into another certification. This time, the second certification is really, it's called Precision Nutrition. So precision nutrition. So this time, Precision Nutrition, it's actually the number one rated certification for nutrition coaching. It's acknowledged worldwide.
Right.
It's known to be giving out talaga in that field.
Yes. And this is different from but this is different from R&D, in registered nutritionist and dietitian.
Yes, it's different. So this one is just a certification to help people in the community level, I guess, not in the parang medical
field.
So I got into that. I learned, I studied the course. Tapos eventually, parang I thought maybe I found my calling. Maybe I can help people improve their health. Because I thought I've already been living a healthy lifestyle ever since when I was early 20s. Right? I exercise a lot naman and I try my best to eat healthy during that time. But I'm actually still confused during back then. So I thought maybe this time would be my time na talaga to help other people.
Yeah. But were you really healthy during those times before you, because it's one thing to be active, right?
Right.
It's one thing to be active. It's one thing to eat, remove the skin, etc., etc. But you're not necessarily healthy, right? Oh,
I wouldn't say
were you at that time?
before pandemic,
Right.
before I got the certificate, I wouldn't say I was.
Okay.
Because back then I would still drink a lot. I would sleep late. And I would just eat whatever pa rin naman with no mindfulness when it comes to eating. So I would work out a lot. But I think my progress in terms of what I want was hampered then because of my lifestyle.
Right.
I thought before, one time, parang we went to a Siargao trip. I thought, I feel good. Like, I was so confident to lift my shirt. I thought,
Sumisik.
I thought, before pa, so I thought, maganda katawan ko, ganyan. Pero when I was looking at the photo, sabi ko, it doesn't look good. I actually had the tummy.
Oh,
May chan ako.
easy lang. Easy.
I thought malaki na yung katawan. I just thought malaki katawan ko. Pero when I was looking at it, di pala.
Yeah.
So yun. So I guess 8 years of working out, I think it was a slow progress for me. It could have been probably cut short. Maybe I could have gotten the progress that I was looking for if I was eating healthily. Parang ganun.
So as a young person, you really had that consciousness already about health,
Kind of,
about you know, being active and all.
Yes.
And a big influence, I'm sure, is your father.
Father.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So you were with Macan, and then you finally found this calling of yours as a nutrition coach. How did you start? Kasi syempre parang you're out of nowhere, right?
Right.
I mean, who is Sid? I mean, why should I listen to you?
Exactly.
And no offense, but why should I listen to you compared to a R&D maybe, right? Or registered nutritionist and dietitian. Yeah.
Okay, so basically this is what I did. I went on Facebook and I put a parang statement, and then I said, "Hi everyone, so I just finished my certification for nutrition coaching. And then if you'd like, I can coach you for free.
Yeah.
This is my way of just practicing it as well." So I put a Google sheet and then just send it out. And then I was surprised that actually there were a lot of people who just logged their names.
Wow.
And then,
Libre.
libre lang naman. So it's free, and then it's also my way of practicing it.
Yeah.
So eventually I got their names, and then I started reaching out to them.
All right.
And then also I also reached out to my friends through IG lang na saying na I just finished my certification. If you want, I can coach you for free. Ganon. So eventually I started coaching people for free muna, and then I started coaching them for 3 months first.
Okay.
After 3 months, I told them na if you'd like to continue, this is what I'm charging.
Yeah.
And then eventually they all did because I guess medyo nahiya rin kasi it was free.
Right.
So yeah, and then it just spread like through word of mouth.
Galing.
Right.
So the first 3 months is like your trial, di ba? Like your
Right.
trial period for the client. It's like my trial period.
Right.
Okay, can I survive this 3 months?
Mm.
Minsan kasi ganyan yung mentality, di ba? Kasi Sid, gusto ko kasi ng steak, gusto ko ng ganito, gusto ko ng ganun. Tapos, the most of the time, kasi the mindset of people when you talk about nutrition, when you talk about, it's all the healthy stuff.
Right.
It's the good, the bad food, that everything else in between, right? So we want to know how does nutrition help in terms of performance? May direct relationship ba yan? Kasi for example, that there are numbers, di ba? When you talk about fitness, parang there's a 70-20-10, di ba? 70% is your nutrition, 20% is your movement or exercise, and then 10% is rest, yung tulog talaga, di ba? So knowing that the biggest component is nutrition, there must be a direct relationship with performance.
Yes.
At work or in your business, di ba? Tell us more about the relationship between nutrition and performance.
Nutrition. So definitely there's a strong relationship between nutrition and performance. Having good nutrition, of course. Let's talk about work pa lang, for example. Parang if you're having proper nutrition, it helps you with concentration, cognitive function.
Right.
It boosts your energy, leading to productivity and efficiency. Parang ganun pala.
Yeah.
That's work alone. And
Right.
comes it also with working out, for example, performance then. I also coach people na parang if you'd like to maybe see a difference in terms when it comes to your performance in the gym,
Yeah.
why not try eating beforehand so that you have energy to do the workout.
Right.
So I guess same thing with everything that you do. Na with good nutrition, of course, it basically improves your performance.
Yeah.
Because your nutrition kasi has a huge effect also in your brain.
Right.
Like for example, in working, diba, parang if to avoid brain fogging, to avoid sluggishness or yun, I guess you just have to eat proper nutrition.
Yeah. So, for example, that what you just mentioned, di ba, not just brain fogging, yung 1 o'clock yung hora de peligro yan. They call it that, yung right after eating lunch, they go back to work, then they need to have a cup of coffee just to get them through the 1 to 3 p.m., right? Because they have work to do.
Right.
So, is there a way to not necessarily avoid, but is there a way to augment the being sluggish after lunch? I mean, what should we eat? Because we know, I don't know if it's a fact, but when you eat a heavy meal during lunch, the concentration of the blood is in the digestive system because it's working harder, right? And so that's why there's not much blood flow in the brain.
Right.
So that's why it's causing people to be sleepy. Tama ba yun?
Well, actually, not one. I mean, that's not the main reason. So the main reason actually is it has something to do with your circadian rhythm or sleep-wake cycle.
Okay.
So this has something to do with
Right. So, yeah.
okay. So well, like I can talk about nutrition and then sleep.
Yeah.
So okay, let's talk about nutrition first. So how it can affect you when it comes to your afternoon slump. So of course, as you mentioned, when you eat something heavy, meron tayo sasabi, I don't know if everyone knows it. It's called baboy reflex.
Baboy reflex.
Baboy reflex.
New term, guys. Baboy reflex.
So baboy reflex.
Yeah. And that's included in his coaching. That term, baboy reflex. When I saw it in his coaching outline, I said, "What? Baboy reflex? Ano to? Lechon baboy? Ano ba to?" Di ba? So, what's the baboy reflex?
So it's just a street term for feeling sleepy after eating something heavy during the afternoon.
Okay.
Ganun siya. So of course, when you eat too much,
Right.
And then lalo na if you eat something processed,
Yeah.
you just feel parang natabad ka na
Yes.
sa trabaho. And that has something to do also with your sleep-wake cycle. in your 24-hour body clock. So this is the relationship. In the 24 hours kasi in a day, your body clock goes up and down.
Yeah.
Naturally goes up and down, goes up and down. And then most of the time, yung afternoon na yun, that's the time when your sleep-wake cycle is on the downside.
Okay.
Parang, ibig sabihin, that's when you feel sleepy, lethargic, parang ganun. And then just so happens, it matches the time when we eat for lunch. So match it with something when you just ate. Matches something when you just ate something heavy. Plus that sleep-wake timing, lalo na you're getting back to work, so lalo kang tatamarin. So maybe that's the whole combination of you feeling sluggish,
Right.
and then ayaw mo na mag-work.
Yeah. So it's not one thing. It's a combination.
Yes.
In this case, it's a combination of your sleep-wake cycle
Right.
plus your, whatever you eat.
And how much you eat.
Correct. Correct. So, kasi yung mga, di ba, sinasabi nila yung kain kargador. Kain construction work, ang daming kanin, tapos kokonti lang yung ulam. But if you think about it kasi, yung mga kain kargador or kain construction worker, okay lang sa kanila yun. Kasi pag tunog ng bell ng 1 o'clock, they're going back to physical work. Di ba? Compared to most of us who work in offices or who have to go back to our jobs, we don't do much physical exercise or physical activity. Is there a way, kasi I'm assuming all of that will turn into fat later on. Tama ba yun?
If you're not using it.
If you're not using it. Yeah. So what is the right amount of carbs, for example, to eat during lunch?
Carbs?
Yeah. Kasi parang feeling ko, that's what causes people to be sluggish and sleepy.
I think there's no right amount. It really depends on how it's affecting you.
Right. I see.
Parang we're all unique naman, we're all different.
Yeah.
So like for example, let's say there's 2 cups of rice. There's 1 cup of rice between us. 1 cup and then 1 cup with me. Based on your lifestyle and then based on my lifestyle, the rice will be, my body will use it differently.
I see.
So we could use it for recovery. And then I have an active lifestyle, so I will be able to use it efficiently.
Right.
You, for example, let's say lang you're not as active, it will turn out differently. So it really depends. That's why cargador, I guess kaya nila kumain ng rice ng madami because they will be able to use it. So it really depends.
And I remember, I think we had a conversation before where oftentimes we hear bad food, good food. What is it about bad food and good food? Or is there even such a thing as good and bad food?
Right.
Kasi when you talk about nutrition, it's mostly a mindset.
Right.
Diba? You have to start first with the right mindset to be able to get on the path of good nutrition. Diba? So, good food, bad food, is there such a thing?
So, there is actually no good and there is actually no bad or good foods. But instead of looking at it as good or bad, think of it in a spectrum or a stoplight.
Okay.
So, stoplight. Stoplight idea na lang. So, there's...
Guys, makinig No, stoplight idea. Okay, go.
So, there's red.
Yeah.
And then there's yellow. And then there's green.
Yeah.
So, the red are the foods that most people would label it as bad. But instead of labeling it as bad, think of it na lang as something you'd like to eat less.
Eat less.
So, these are foods that are highly processed.
Right.
Meaning, they're out of their natural form. They're so far away from their natural form. So think of it as yellow panda, for example. Not yellow panda. Hello panda.
Yeah.
Any para animal crackers, for example, that's a good example because it was manufactured to look that way. So it has no natural form. You don't get it plainly from nature. It was manufactured that way. So that's one good example. And then if you move forward naman to the spectrum, there's the orange or yellow, which is like you'd like to parang foods that are under eat some. So these are foods naman that parang it was processed but not as much.
Tocino.
Pwede. So deli meats.
Oh, deli
meats. Yeah. So parang
social deli meat.
Deli meats. Yeah, ganun. So ham.
Yeah.
turkey, yung mga ganun.
Yeah.
Parang it's not highly processed, but it's not also a whole food as well.
Right.
And then if you move forward to the green light, those are the foods that you'd like to eat more. So these are foods that are close to their whole or natural form.
Yeah.
So these are foods that you can eat. Basically, in the grocery, these are the food that has no nutritional label. So these are the foods that are in the cold section, in the fresh section,
Right.
vegetables, produce, stuff, fresh produce.
Right.
Parang ganun.
How about ano naman? How about ito magandang idea to, yung craving.
Cravings. Yeah.
Should you give in to your cravings?
So I would automatically say it depends on how it affects you. Pero, but just to give a general idea na lang, I think you should just give in to your cravings.
Or natin pumapalakpak.
Or at the same time, it can also be an opportunity for you to become mindful on why are you craving. So let's say for example, you're walking in the same restaurant and then you keep craving donuts. First, kaya na lang, I keep craving for a donut.
Yeah.
And then I notice I keep craving for a donut because, as you mentioned, may nakikita akong restaurant. I can look at it in two ways. One is parang, okay, I noticed that it's being more mindful, I guess. I noticed that I'm craving a donut whenever I walk this path. So how can I make it harder for myself? I'll walk the other way around. Parang ganun. That's one. Or making it harder for yourself. Or if you can also just give yourself permission to eat and then just move on.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other ways naman to become healthy. You don't have, lalo na if you're just gonna be, tawag dito, lalo na if you just keep depriving yourself.
Right.
And then at some point, biglang sasabog ka na lang. So that might have a more negative effect on you.
Right.
So I think I would just suggest, if you just move on, give in to your cravings, and then move on.
Yeah.
And then if you'd like, you can conditionally enjoy it. So by conditionally, does that mean, okay, I'm gonna give in to my own craving, pero I'm just gonna have one piece. Instead of a dozen, I'll have one piece. And that's good. And then I'm gonna have it, pero I'm just gonna eat it slowly.
Right.
Right. Or if I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna buy the most expensive one. Mga ganun.
Yeah. You make it more difficult for you.
For you.
It's like atomic habits, di ba?
Yeah.
Atomic habits.
Exactly.
1% better every day, but the behavior that you want to see less of, make it harder for you to go through that behavior. Nice. Wow, that's a lot. Guys, I hope you're learning from this because nutrition is such a big part of performance.
Yeah.
Di ba? And it's not just performance at work, even in the house. Me as a father, I want to be there for my kids during dinner or, when we're out eating. Di ba? You want to be mindful nga na we're enjoying a meal, but at the same time, I'm there for them.
Right.
Di ba? Or for your partner, you want to be there for them. So you enjoy a meal together. Hindi sometimes kasi we eat so fast.
Right.
Di ba? So in relation to that, which I'm also going to ask you, so what are some hacks, What are some hacks that we can have given our fast-paced lifestyle? Pero in terms of digesting, what are some tips so that the body can fully absorb everything that you've eaten? And then give us also some other things that we should be mindful of as we close our time together. What are some of the things that we should be mindful of given our fast-paced life?
Correct.
Go ahead.
So there's this technique I'd like to sometimes I share with my clients, which is called just a 5-minute action.
That's right.
It should be something so small, something so crazy that so easy to do. For example, let's say lang moving more. Let's say you have a fast-paced life and then you're not really able to exercise, and then you'd like to work on exercising. But you have no time. So instead of looking at it as working out for 1 hour, why not look into just 5 minutes of your life and then do something? Does that mean 5 minutes of you just walking around, or 5 minutes of, I don't know, of a workout, 5 minutes of just standing, etc. And then just practice that. Because you having a fast-paced life, meaning you have a lot on your plate. So doing a change in your lifestyle would be hard already. So squeezing in just a 5 minute in your lifestyle would probably be a good start. to get the change on or going.
Right.
If there's only one action that you can practice to help you lose weight, it would be this. So it would be just eating slowly.
Guys, eating slowly daw.
So when you eat slowly, kasi you let your body or you give yourself to tell you that you're already full. You
Right.
give enough time.
Right.
Because when you eat too fast, it's like you're overshooting the runway.
Oh,
It's like that. And then
interesting. Nice.
so I'll just share one experience with my one client. So he had an acid reflux. He has GERD. So meaning by GERD, it means the timing of the sphincter ng esophagus mo is not hindi siya in sync. So meaning kasi when you lunok open and then it goes through the stomach, it'll open also.
Yeah.
And then when the acid flashes back, that's GERD basically. That's the irritability in your esophagus.
Right.
That's GERD or acid reflux.
Guys, when you lunok, Oh.
So when you eat slowly, you kind of give your esophagus good timing when to open, when to close. So that in itself palang helps you with acid reflux
Yeah.
or GERD.
Yeah.
Also with digestion.
So what you're telling us is GERD can be reversed or can be cured with
Just eating slowly.
Oh my gosh.
Just eating slowly.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that? I didn't. Now I know. Kasi parang feeling ko may ganun ako eh.
Yeah.
Feeling ko, I mean, I have acid definitely kasi of coffee and all that stuff. No? Pero I didn't know that just by eating slowly, you can ano pala,
Reverse it, and then it helps you with a lot of things. Managing your weight.
Wow.
So just to give you an idea, it actually takes 20 minutes for the body to find out that you're already full. It takes 20 minutes. So if you're eating, let's say for example, you're eating 3 minutes only, meaning you feel like you're hungry yet, but you haven't given your body enough time to tell you you're actually full.
Yes.
But you don't know it because you didn't give me enough time. Now you're eating more because you feel like gutom ka pa.
Correct.
So just imagine the amount of calories that you'll be able to save just by eating slowly.
Yeah. Because a lot of our viewers are iba yung shift nila. Di ba? They work evening, di ba? Or they midnight yung shift nila. So they work sometimes from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. di ba? And all that stuff. So I know that there's a circadian rhythm or cycle that you were talking about, but the nutrition that happens during those hours, kasi baliktad na nga yung muna nila eh, di ba? Or yung time nila. Does it affect when I say affect, do they gain more? Do you see that they gain more weight or they lose more weight? Ano ba yung what are the studies on that?
So actually, people who are in graveyard shift, they have a disadvantage when it comes to nutrition and I guess being healthy in general compared to people who just living a normal sleep-wake rhythm.
Correct.
So yun pa lang, that's first. The fact that their sleep is different, is reverse. We all know that sleep has a huge benefit or advantage when it comes to weight loss or overall well-being. So that's one alone. And then second is for graveyard shift, the availability of food for them. Normally 24/7, what's available is just fast food. Wala na masyado yung really low food talaga. Slow cooked meals, diba? Second, third is their lifestyle. To be awake, sometimes they need to drink a lot of energy drinks, coffee,
Alright.
and then Yossi, and then vape also. And then after their shift, what do? They drink because their only time to distress. And then now they're just stuck in this constant loop.
How do you suggest is there a way that they can cope with?
Right. So let's say I've had clients who have graveyard shifts, and then basically we work on one thing that they have total control. So let's say they don't have real control with their own schedule. Then what are other things that they can control? Is it a matter of sleeping earlier in the day, or eating healthily, bringing pre-packed meals, walking more,
Right.
etc. Like for example, if they don't have an exercise routine, then how can they just add more movement in their schedule. Doesn't mean just standing up from their desk and then just walking around in the floor for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then that's it. It's really just one change at a time up until it becomes part of their lifestyle.
Yeah. Galing. So 1% better every day.
Better, yeah.
That's the key.
Right.
According to James Clear,
Yeah.
Atomic Habits. Nice.
Like, it has to be crazy small or crazy easy to do it.
Correct.
But yeah, you're gonna start questioning.
Oh, ba't
Yeah.
ka pa nagagawa to? Parang ganun.
Or parang ito lang talaga. Has to be like that.
Oh, yeah.
To be consistent, to be sustainable.
Right. So, yeah. Oh, galing. Thank you so much, Sid. Before we go, please take the floor or take this time to let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to get more involved in nutrition coaching by you.
Yes.
So you go ahead.
So I'm on Instagram. My personal IG account is Sid Kabatingan. That's SIDCBTNGN. And for nutrition coaching, it's at No Best Diet. You can also visit www.nobestdiet.com to see more details. And then if you'd like to book a free call, that's the way to go.
Yes, nice. Thank you so much, Sid. No Best Diet. Galing, very catchy, mga kapatid. So, we will have Sid back because this is just a topic that is, affects everybody. But not only that, we're also going to have him back to talk about movement because we know that in the past, during the pandemic, talagang walang movement. Nasa bahay lang tayo. We all work from home. Ate there, slept there, studied there. So, the importance naman now of movement. Not just exercise, but movement. No? So, we will see you back with Sid to talk about movement in the next episode of Conversations with RD Abelio. We'll see you all. Eat healthy, guys. See you.